Welcome back to RF Coins today, so grab your magnifying glass, stay tuned till the very end, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy discovering hidden treasures. Let's get right into it. The story of the 1982 Lincoln penny is a perfect storm of historical transition, minting confusion, and collector obsession. To understand why these coins can be so valuable, we first need to go back to what was happening in the early 1980s. In 1982, the United States Mint made a major change to the composition of the penny. Before 1982, pennies were made mostly of copper, 95% copper, to be exact, with the remaining 5% made of zinc. But in 1982, the price of copper was skyrocketing. It was actually getting to the point where the metal inside a penny was worth more than 1 cent. That meant the government was literally losing money every time they minted a penny. So they made a decision. They would switch the composition of the penny from mostly copper to mostly zinc, 97.5% zinc with a thin copper plating, just enough to make the penny look the same. But here's the thing. This change wasn't instant. It didn't happen overnight. Throughout 1982, the U.S. Mint produced both copper and zinc pennies, and they did it in multiple styles, with large dates and small dates. So, that year, the U.S. Mint actually made 7 different types of 1982 pennies, and that's not even including the rare experimental ones or the valuable errors. That's what makes 1982 such a fascinating year for collectors. Let's break down the 7 standard types of 1982 Lincoln cents that came out of the mint: 1982 large date copper, 1982 small date copper, 1982 large date zinc, 1982 small date zinc, 1982 D large date copper, 1982 D large date zinc, 1982 D small date zinc. Wait a minute. You might have noticed something. There's no 1982 D small date copper on that list. That's where things get really interesting. In 2016, a man named Paul Malone discovered something truly extraordinary, a 1982 D small date copper penny. This was a coin that was never officially released. Many experts believed it simply shouldn't exist, because the Denver Mint wasn't supposed to strike small date copper pennies in 1982. But it did. Somehow. And today, that coin is one of the rarest and most valuable pennies ever found. So how does a 1-cent coin reach a value of over $500,000? It all comes down to rarity, demand, and authenticity. The 1982 D small date copper penny is so rare, only 2 examples have ever been authenticated. That kind of rarity, combined with the mystery behind how it was made and the thrill of possibly finding one, drives collectors wild. In an auction, coins like this have fetched as much as $18,800, but some experts believe if a third example were to come to light, in pristine condition, it could easily sell for over $500,000. Some even speculate a perfect condition find, authenticated and graded as a top-tier example by PCGS or NGC, could reach a price of $585,330 or more in a competitive auction. Imagine finding that in your junk drawer. Alright, let's talk identification. How can you tell if your 1982 penny is worth a fortune? Check the date and mint mark. Look for 1982 pennies with a D under the date. That means it was minted in Denver. Look for the small date variety. There are 2 different styles, small date and large date. Small date numerals are thinner and the 2 in 1982 has a curved base that sits higher than the 8 way. The coin copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams. Zinc pennies weigh 2.5 grams. You'll need a precise digital scale that reads to the 100th of a gram. If you find a 1982 D small date penny that weighs 3.11 grams, you may have struck gold, figuratively, of course. You might be holding a $500,000 coin. Right now, the collector market for 1982 pennies is red hot. Coin enthusiasts, numismatists, and treasure hunters are buying up 1982 pennies in bulk, hunting for that elusive copper small date from Denver. Even the more common varieties can be worth money in high grades. Here's a quick look at the current market, worth around $10 to $501,982 D small date copper, estimated worth $250,000 to $585,000 plus. So yes, even the common ones can be worth more than a penny. A lot more. A jeweler's loupe or magnifying glass access to coin rolls from banks or your personal stash. The 1982 Lincoln penny is proof that treasure is hiding in plain sight. These small, humble coins, often tossed aside, dropped on sidewalks, or thrown in jars, could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. All it takes is a little knowledge, a keen eye, and a sense of adventure. So the next time you get change at the store, or you're digging through that old drawer, take a second look. Your fortune might be hiding in a handful of pennies. Literally. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss an episode about coin values, hidden treasures, and real stories from collectors who turned pocket change into paydays. Until next time, happy hunting, and keep checking those pennies. Welcome back to RF Coins. Today's spotlight is on one of the most talked about pennies in numismatic circles. A penny that has shocked experts. A penny that could be hiding right now in your coin jar. I'm talking about the incredible 1983 Lincoln penny. Yes, you heard that right, a penny from 1983 minted in Denver that could be worth over $585,000. That's not a typo. This tiny copper-colored coin, often overlooked and tossed aside, has made headlines for being one of the most valuable and mysterious coins in United States history. So stick with me as we dive deep into the fascinating history, the unbelievable errors, the shocking market value, and how you might just have one of these gems in your collection without even realizing it. Grab your magnifying glasses, friends. We're about to go treasure hunting. Let's rewind the clock to the year 1983. Ronald Reagan was president. Michael Jackson's Thriller ruled the charts. And at the Denver Mint, millions upon millions of Lincoln cents were being produced. This wasn't just any year for penny production, though. Just 1 year earlier, in 1982, the United States Mint made a monumental change, one that would affect every penny moving forward. Before 1982, pennies were made primarily of 95% copper. But due to rising copper prices, the mint decided to switch to a cheaper composition. Starting mid-1982, they began using zinc coated with copper, which made the coins lighter, less valuable in raw metal, and prone to certain minting errors. By 1983, all newly minted pennies, including those from Denver, were supposed to be zinc with a copper coating. But here's where the mystery begins. Some coins from 1983 defy that expectation. Some were minted on old copper planchets. And some contain mind-blowing mint errors that make them worth more than a luxury car, or even a house. So how did these rare anomalies occur? And more importantly, how can you tell if you've got one? Now, not every 1983 penny is worth thousands. But some are. And it all comes down to errors and composition. Is the king of the 1983 pennies? As we mentioned, 1983 pennies should all be zinc. But a few, somehow, were struck on leftover bronze planchets from before 1982. These copper-based pennies weigh more, around 3.11 grams, compared to the standard 2.5 grams of a zinc coin. Only a handful of these bronze 1983 pennies have been discovered. One of them sold for a staggering $17,625 at auction. And experts believe there are more out there waiting to be found. Another variation to look for is the double die reverse. This error means the design on the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial, appears slightly doubled, especially around the lettering. These errors are caused during the minting process when the die strikes the planchet more than once in slightly different positions. Collectors go wild for strong DDR examples. Depending on the strength and visibility, some 1983 DDR pennies can fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars. Center strikes and broad strikes. Then we have the center errors and broad strikes. These are coins that were misaligned during striking, leading to parts of the design being off or missing. If it's a 1983 penny and the error is dramatic, it can be very valuable. Die cracks, cuds, and BAE errors. Some collectors also pay good money for more subtle errors like die cracks, cuds, where a piece of the die breaks, and even the famous BIE error where a die break creates the illusion of an extra letter between the B and E in Liberty. Every error tells a story. And every story can mean a bigger price tag. Look at the mint mark, it should have a clear D under the year 1983. No mint mark means it's from Philadelphia. A D means it's from Denver, that's what we want. Weigh the coin, use a precise digital scale. If it weighs 3.11 grams, that's a major red flag, in a good way. You might have a rare bronze planchet penny. Inspect for doubling using a magnifier, look closely at the reverse. Check for doubled letters in E pluribus unum, United States of America, or 1 cent. Look for major errors, examine for misalignments, die cracks, and cuds. Any unique imperfection could mean a jump in value. If you think you found something rare, don't clean the coin. Cleaning can reduce the value. Take it to a professional coin dealer or submit it to grading services like PCGS or NGC for authentication. Now, let's talk numbers, because that's why we're here, right? Most circulated 1983 Lincoln cents are worth 1 cent, maybe slightly more if they're in perfect condition, maybe 5 to 10 cents for uncirculated examples, but the rare errors. That's a whole different story. A 1983 penny with a dramatic double die reverse can sell for between $250 and $2,000, depending on grade and visibility. A copper-based 1983 penny, if authenticated, can fetch anywhere from $10,000 to over $20,000. And yes, there are rumors and auction listings where an exceptionally rare and flawless specimen was valued at over $585,000. That is life-changing money for a single cent. Some collectors speculate this coin might be a prototype or a transitional strike error. If you stumble across a perfect condition 1983 bronze penny with visible doubling and full luster, the sky is the limit. The 1983 Lincoln penny is more than just a coin, it's a mystery, a relic, and potentially a fortune waiting to be discovered. So the next time you get change at the store, don't just toss those pennies in a drawer. Inspect them. Weigh them. Study them. Your next handful of coins could include one of the rarest American cents in history, and if you think you found one, leave a comment below. We'd love to see pictures, answer questions, and guide you on how to get your coin professionally appraised. Before you go, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on the next big coin discovery. We dive into the rarest and most valuable coins in the world, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Until then, keep hunting, keep learning, and who knows, your fortune might just be hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting.